As a professional esports coach, I've had the pleasure of working with hundreds of players of all skill levels, and because of this, I noticed recurring common mistakes, aka bad habits, amongst players worldwide. My client called this center stage syndrome, and I thought it perfectly captures what this habit is. We see Smash as this king of the hill type game, where being close to the center means greater safety, which makes a lot of sense. Just like Mario Party bumper balls, staying in the middle makes sense because it's harder for you to lose. Because of this, people tend to instinctually pick options that bring them to the center as quickly as possible. One of these common ways is to keep their control stick pointed towards the center of the stage whenever they get hit to the ground. However, this can lead to a hard roll read. Remember, you have a couple other options here, such as rolling away, normal get up, and get up attack. You can even tech it to further increase your safety. Here is another example. With this center stage syndrome logic, Zelda gets hit to the ledge and wants to instantly make it back to where safety may be, which is the center. Then roll straight into the inevitable cannon event that is my Jigglypuff. And I see this a lot with clients, and I get to punish it a lot. When on ledge, they could have got up in place, or jump, or even get up attack. They can even hang out for a little bit to make their ledge option less predictable. Use the power of timing to your advantage. One last example of holding into the stage. I launch Cloud off stage and I tag him with a PK Thunder to launch him even higher. Now pay attention to their aerial drift. It's aiming right towards center stage. I understand that they want to be back on the hill, and I use this knowledge against him to land a perfectly placed back air to close out the game. I feel like this center stage syndrome also makes you forget your other options in the heat of the moment. Cloud could have aimed for the ledge instead of holding into center stage, or use side B to stall mid-air, then fast fall air dodge past the back air. The main point for this one overall is to recognize when you are autopiloting with this punishable habit, and replace this behavior with something more reserved. Remember to take a breather, slow it down, then contest for center stage, don't just rush for it. And the best part about this, if you notice your opponent having center stage syndrome, you can land some hard reads of your own. Humans have a natural fear of falling, as it is an innate survival instinct. Within the same vein, when a newer Smash player gets hit off stage, the same sense of danger kicks in. The moment you find yourself over the blast zone of death, you think, I need to get back to safety as soon as possible, and the fastest way to regain control of your character is to use your double jump, which makes sense logically. However, in a magical game of Smash, logic does not matter and this can happen. Your double jump is a very important resource when it comes to recovering back to stage, along with your air dodge and any special moves you can use. Losing your double jump early could mean that your recovery becomes extremely linear and predictable, or you can't physically make it back to stage. You could save your double jump for a much lower recovery, or you do a quick move to break out a tumble, then recover. I invite you to get creative with your recoveries, experimenting with low, high, mid, fast, low, weird, and so on. Practicing different ways of recovering can help you build confidence when you're off stage. Also, as a small side note, this particular habit is much more common in players that have a poor or exploitable recovery, just because they have the fear of getting dunked on instilled into them. However, I feel like that's even more of a reason to have confidence in saving your double jump until you need it for an intentional recovery. Being able to have that reserve of saving your double jump shows a lot of maturity as a Smash player, and I think that's something that's highly valued as you rise the ranks. Welcome to Who Wants to Be a Million Times Better in Smash. Here's your $1 million question. Why did this Ness not get punished? You better not have picked C. The animation of letting go of your shield is 11 frames. Smash Ultimate runs at 60 frames per second, meaning that releasing your shield freezes your character in this animation around 1/6 of a second. Ness's PSI magnet is -12 on shield, which means after you block this move, Ness is vulnerable to any attack for 12 frames. Cloud's up B comes out on frame 7, and because 7 is less than 12, up B should be fast enough to easily punish Ness's down B. However, due to the shield drop adding 11 frames of animation to Cloud, we now have Cloud's 18 versus Ness's 12. That gives Ness plus 6 frames to act, and in this case, shield the up B. There are certain out of shield actions you can do to ignore shield dropping. If you attempt to grab someone after they hit your shield, it adds only a 4 frame delay to your grab animation, which already shaves off 7 frames from shield dropping. Jumping out of shield only takes 3 frames to go airborne due to the jump squat animation, which is even faster. But the best options in terms of speed that cause no delay at all is up smash and up B out of shield. One quick extra tip for this one is that some players might experience their character looking up while holding shield when they wanted to do an up B or an up smash. This tends to happen if you don't input up and a button together. The game might read your up input as its own individual input to tell your character to look up. To avoid this, just practice pressing both simultaneously to get what you want. Aerials are an incredibly important part of this game, unless you're Lil Mac. It's important to know how to do aerials from a full hop, from a short hop, from rising, from falling, and with a fast fall. Players practice this, but there's a bit of a fallacy when it comes to fast falling with this idea of I need a fast fall all of my aerials to become the fastest player in the world, which sounds kind of ridiculous saying it out loud. But this line of thinking introduces a new problem. Empty aerials. You see that Yoshi is winding up his big head for a forward air, but he's also fast falling too close to the ground. Because of this, Yoshi makes contact with the floor, making a landing animation, but no hitbox comes out. Same thing here with Cloud. You see the wind up for back air, but he lands way too quickly, so he's opening himself for an attack for free. Yes, fast falling is important, but take time in the lab to understand the timing of your fast falls with each aerial, and see which ones you can freely fast fall with and which ones you need to time the inputs more accordingly. With more practice, you can graduate from having clunky aerials like this into more smooth, fluid inputs like this. Generally speaking, what you can practice is a short hop, then throw out your aerial, and fast fall after you see the attack coming out. This order of operations helps you build that muscle memory for more efficient aerials, and after you feel like you mastered the timing, that's when you can begin to experiment with doing aerials as low to the ground as you can without making this clunky mistake. And that is all 4 habits. Thank you for watching the whole video. I hope this video helps you learn and grow more when playing Smash, and if you want more videos like this, let me know. Shout out to our YouTube members, and if you want to see a healthy amount of Smash Ultimate trivia, check out this video here.